Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for November 7th. November 7th is the 311th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 312th in leap years, with 54 days remaining to the end of the year. This day marks the approximate midpoint of autumn in the Northern Hemisphere and spring in the Southern Hemisphere, starting the season at the September equinox. Caduceus is a symbol with a short staff entwined by two serpents, sometimes surmounted by wings. This is similar to the rod of Asclepius, which has a single snake and no wings. The similarity between these symbols is the snake. The rod of Asclepius is associated with healing and medicine, and the caduceus seems to have acquired that association as well. The caduceus is the official insignia of the United States Medical Corps and the Public Health Service. Caduceus comes to us by way of the Greek god Hermes, also known as the Roman god Mercury, and Hermes Trismegistus in the Greco-Egyptian mythology. One legend is that Hermes discovered two snakes fighting and thrust his rod between them. The snakes stopped fighting and wound themselves around the rod. Thus, this combination became the sign of settlement of quarrels. The symbol has been used to signify commerce as well. Another legend is that these symbols represent and were gifted to Asclepius and to Hermes by Apollo. Beyond that, the symbol seems to have roots in Mesopotamia as a symbol of Sumerian gods dating back as far as 3000 to 4000 BC. We think the caduceus was first used as a medical emblem in the 1500s. Caduceus. The London Gazette, the oldest surviving journal, was first published on November 7, 1665. This is a paper in which statutory notices were required to be published, more like a legal notices type of paper, not a conventional general news coverage type of paper. This is the birthday of Polish chemist and physicist Marie Curie, born November 7, 1867. Fascinating woman. Her studies and discoveries have benefited all of us in some way or another. She lived to the age of 66. A cartoon published on November 7, 1874 by Thomas Nast in Harper's Weekly is considered the first important use of an elephant as a symbol for the United States Republican Party. November 7, 1918 is the birthday of American minister and author Billy Graham. Considered one of the most influential Christian leaders of the 20th century, he lived to the age of 99. The original Tacoma Narrows Bridge in Tacoma, Washington collapsed in a windstorm on November 7, 1940, just 4 months after it was completed. President Lyndon Johnson signed the Public Broadcasting Act of 1967 on November 7, 1967, establishing the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Daryl Hall and John Oates formed up in about 1970, and by golly, they're still working. They've hit the top 40 with 29 of their 33 singles, 6 of those peaking at number 1. One of those number 1 hits is Private Eyes, which hit number 1 on November 7th, 1981. Thank you, Daryl Hall and John Oates. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that is called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Gitter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.